Hey, let's make jungle terrain. So, over the past year, I've been collecting fake plants, and you can buy them in all sorts of places. Mine are mostly from the dollar shop or hardware store. What all these artificial plants have in common is this loop and hook system. You can sort of plug them together and make all sorts of different combinations. For making jungle terrain, this is what makes life very easy. I found this big grid of clovers at the hardware store, and now all I've got to do is cut it to shape and plug in the different plants I want. To pick the plants that I'm going to use, I choose very similar colors, and that way when it's all put together, they're sort of going to blend in and look a bit more believable. I made a base with EPVC and I painted it with house paint. House paint is a very economically friendly paint and it's fast drying and generally has good coverage. Using standard PVA glue, I then applied the grid and I also applied some of my homemade flock. The coarseness sort of works well in like a jungle setting. It could be leaves falling on the ground or little plants or mulch, all that sort of stuff. And that's why when I make flock, I like to sift it after and not before. These plants are based on a 1-to-1 scale real life plant, and sometimes bringing these big boy plants in a 28mm world can look a little bit odd or out of place, but there's a couple of things I do to combat this. First of all, I trim and modify some of the plants. Getting rid of the uniformity I think can give them some more believability. Another thing I do is put the scale in context. When you have something really big in your scene and something really small, I think your brain sort of fills in the gaps and everything in between the big and small thing makes a little bit more sense. In my scene, the little things are the flock and the big things are these big palm trees I made. These palm trees are sort of a Frankenstein of a couple of different plants, and I joined them together with a sewing pin. I then stuck the pin directly into the balsa wood dowel. Balsa wood is a great material to work with. It's really soft, so adding texture to it is really easy. And then when I covered it in a wash, the grain in the wood came out and it looked even more like a tree. I then applied static grass to the top of the tree to simulate fibers around the leaves. Not only does this give it detail and texture, but it also provides another source of scale to the environment. I then drilled a hole in the bottom of the dowel and I plugged it straight into the hooks on the base. I added a little bit of PVA glue for some extra security, but the plugs in the base were actually a really snug fit and it worked really well. And then I just spent a couple of hours and made half a table's worth. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you to everyone that supports the channel. If you want to support the channel, please consider sharing some of my stuff. I love seeing my stuff out in the wild. Places like Reddit and Facebook and forums, all the places I frequent but feel a bit weird self-promoting on. It means a lot seeing my stuff out there. Another thing you can do is just watch more of my stuff. I have a video on my channel called Problem Solving and it's probably my favorite thing I've ever done. So if you have the time, please check it out. And of course, I've got a Patreon, which has changed so much for this channel and allowed me to do more of what I love and make things better and better. I can't thank all the people that support me on Patreon enough. It truly means the world to me that you would part with your money to support what I do. Okay, well, I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.